Hello and welcome to my 500 subscriber special. Around 2 weeks ago I hit 500 subscribers, so I uploaded a video asking everybody if there is any questions about me that you would like to know to leave a comment below. So I've got a list of all those questions that you have wanted to ask me. Basically I really appreciate everybody taking time out of their day to watch my videos, but also subscribing so that you can, I don't know, keep up with all the videos that I'm making. Now, speaking of videos, this one's going to be a little bit different than normal. There's not going to be any editing, no cuts or anything else like that. It's basically just going to be me talking to the camera, answering your questions, and I've also got a nice pint of Guinness as well. So if I do stop for a break to have a drink, it's just because I'm going to be short on breath reading all these questions that you've asked. So starting off, a little bit more about me. The question that I get asked a lot is, how old are you? I'm 28 years old. I'm born in December 1984, so I'm actually coming up to being 29 years old. The next question I get a lot is, what do I do for a job? Which is probably one of the biggest questions, because a lot of people seem to have no idea about what I may do. Basically, for a job, I work for an ethical hacking company. I know what you're worrying now, thinking, has he been trying to hack into my computer and stuff? It's not what I do. Basically, ethical hacking is where companies employ or take on the services of my company to hack their networks and infrastructure. We let them know vulnerabilities, how we hacked into it, how we could take over their websites, and basically let them know before someone else, probably most likely from China, goes and does an attack and takes over. So hopefully that answers a lot of questions that people have about what I do for a job. Also, whereabouts do I live? Well, I live in Leeds at the moment. I've been really lucky in my life to have been able to live and work all around the world. From around the age of around 18, I actually did a lot of travelling around the world. I've lived in the Canary Islands, so in Gran Canaria and Tenerife, for those of you that will know where those are. I've also lived in Tunisia, which is in North Africa. I've also lived in Bulgaria, and I've also lived in Venice, Italy as well. Apart from that, I've done lots of travelling all around the world. So I've been to, lots of different places. So I've been to Australia, New Zealand, I've been to the United States, that's New York and Seattle I've been to, and Hawaii as well. Where else have we been to? Tokyo, Singapore, Sydney, Darwin, Auckland, Hawaii, New York. Lots of different places over Europe. I've been skiing, so I'm pretty well travelled, and I've been really lucky enough to, see a lot of the world. How many games do I have? Well, if we're talking about N64, which you can see behind me in the bookcase, I've got 105 complete games at the moment. If you've been a long time viewer of my channel, you'll know that I only collect complete in box, so it does take a while longer than just buying loose cartridges, and it's also more expensive as well. But I prefer complete in box. I like having everything that came out for the console. Am I gay? No, I'm not gay. Never have been, never tried it. So hopefully that will answer your question. Now, moving on to my channel, there's a few people that I would really like to thank out. Now, obviously I want to thank everybody for watching, because without you, then I probably wouldn't be doing this. But there were some key people really early on in my channel that sort of got behind me and gave me the help that I needed, and also they were kind enough to either give me shout outs or to comment on my videos, to like them, so it spread across their channel. And if it wasn't for them, I probably wouldn't be where I am today. So the people I would like to thank you are 64-Bit Matthew over in Canada. Really great guy. Love all his videos. He gets some really great pickups. He's also got a copy of Sculptor's Cut, which I'm really after, and one day hopefully I'll be able to afford the complete in box version. But again, thank you for all of the help that you did early on in my channel. I also want to thank Project Reality 64. Again, really another great YouTuber. He was one of the early ones who started to interact with my channel. I've sent him some games over as well, so I really do like him. Really cool guy. He's been a little bit quiet recently, but I'm sure he's going to be coming back with lots more videos. But if you haven't already checked out his channels, make sure you go check them out. I also want to thank 16-Bit Brit. Weird story, we actually lived probably about, less than 5 minutes from each other for quite a long time. Now we only live about half an hour away from each other, but again, he was a really great help. He's one of the guys who are also over at Gamester81, which brings me over to my next point. Is I really want to thank John at Gamester81 for allowing me to be part of his team of contributors over at Gamester81.com, because that gave me a really big help to get me some exposure. So again, thank you, John. And I also want to thank the guys over at RetroWare TV. The time when my channel really boomed and seemed to explode was when I started my N64 magazine time capsule series of videos. The very first video, they actually made their feature of the week, and it literally got 2,000 views on it within within a couple of hours. And without them exposing it, then I wouldn't have had those and all those subscribers that came with it. But also as well, many times they've featured my videos that I've uploaded. So again, big thank you to those guys. Now there are of course loads, I'm really sorry, but this is going to drag on, be a really long video if I don't speed things up. But if I haven't given you a shout out, it doesn't mean that I don't appreciate it or don't like it. It just means I've gone to the really early start of my channel, to the guys that really helped sort of promote and push me. Now moving on to the questions that all of you guys have been asked me. So basically I'm just going to go through these and just try to answer them as best as I can. So the first question is from Will Woodward. Will Woodward wants to know, have you ever worked in video game journalism? Short answer is no, although when I was a kid, if I'd have been offered a job at N64 magazine, I would have taken it at a heartbeat, but it's not something I've ever done. The next question comes from Gears X. He wants to know, a couple of questions. What are your thoughts on the new Tomb Raider? It was actually supposed to be delivered on Saturday, but because we've had really bad weather here in England, it hasn't arrived yet. But it should be here tomorrow, so I'm really looking forward to it. I think it looks like a great game. It's one of the few series that I do actually quite like, especially the newer ones. I think they're a lot better than the old PlayStation ones. But I'm looking forward to that one. And his next question was, do you own a 3DS? And if so, what games do you own and which ones are you looking forward to checking out? I used to own a 3DS. I got rid of it. I got it on launch day. And it was when there was that really long dry spell without any top title games. But I did kind of enjoy it. But I probably won't be getting one again in a hurry. The games that I enjoyed on it, I really like Pilot Wings. It wasn't as good as the N64 or the Super Nintendo one, but I enjoyed that. Also the Ocarina of Time 3DS, absolutely loved that. In my opinion, that was the best game on it whilst I had the console. So that was the game that I probably enjoyed the most on it. The next question comes from Kunets. Sorry if I've said that name wrong, but that's how I saw it. He's got two questions. The first one is, what was my desire to start collecting? Basically a little bit of nostalgia really. I used to travel around a lot, so I couldn't really collect and have lots of things to carry with me. But now when I got settled here where I live, which is in Leeds, England by the way, I bought a job lot of an N64 console, and it came with 13 complete in box games, and then since then I've just always bought complete in box, and it had some great titles. So I guess that's kind of what got me into it, because I just wanted to play an N64 again. But the more I played it, the more I realised just how much I liked it, and that's where it went from. His next question was, he went to his local game store to check out prices on games, and he noticed that Killer Instinct Gold on the N64 was €40 for a loose cart, which seems kind of crazy. Is there a reason for this? The reason is the guy that owns the store is a money grabbing git. €40. On my calculations, that's probably about £30 for a loose cart Killer Instinct Gold. It's on the high side. You could probably get a complete in box version for that. Loose cart, you should probably be paying anywhere from sort of £15 to £25, absolute tops. I'd say it would be closer loose cart for about £15. Hero of the Guitar, again another long-standing viewer of my channel. He says, congratulations on getting the 500 subscribers. My question is, what are your top 5 favourite video games in general? The first one would be anything from the Mario Kart series. The next one would be anything from the Zelda series. Then I would say, if we're going to single games, I would say Mario Brothers 3 on the NES. I think that's the best Mario game that's ever been made. Brilliant game. I'd also say a weird choice would be WWF Royal Rumble on the Super Nintendo. Now I know that's an LJN game which everyone dogs on, but I've got some great memories of playing that with my brother. We used to play it for hours and hours on end, and really got great memories of playing that one, so that's why that would probably make my list. And I'd also say F-Zero X as well. F-Zero X is a incredible game, probably nearly my favourite game on the N64, so they'd be the top 5 games that I would like. Travesty Brimstone wants to know, what N64 games are your favourites? To be honest, there's not really been a whole lot of games. I really had to think hard about this one, because even though there are some good games out there, there's only one game from probably the past year that has really taken my interest, and that was Rayman Origins. I got that on the PlayStation 3. Absolutely loved it. It's a fantastic game. If you haven't already played it, I actually did a review of it a long time ago before I started doing reviews properly. That's probably the only game I can really remember like actually really getting into and really enjoying. So that's probably the only game that I could say, so that's from the more modern side of things. Jimsy Hammond, he wants to know, well done on 500 subs, you deserve it, awesome channel, thank you. My question is, how long have you been collecting video games? It's kind of weird, I'd say that as an actual collector, I'd probably say only about a year, but there's been times in my past when I was, when I was in between living abroad and living in England where I'd get big, sort of job lots of, consoles, but then I'd sell them when I needed to move abroad again. So I'd say in terms of collecting as I do now, sort of N64, they've also got Mega Drive collection as well, but I'd say only for about a year or so. Last year I bought a lot more games than I probably should have done. I went from the 13 that I originally got with the console all the way up to around about 100 by the end of last year. So it's going to be a little bit slower this year, but I will do another pickups video soon because I have added some new games to my collection that nobody has seen yet. Next up we have Chris Ashant, and he wants to know, Glenn, what is your favourite takeaway, or takeout if you're in America? Since you're such a metrosexual woofter, I reckon it's probably sushi. My favourite takeaway or takeout is pizza. That would be my favourite. I do like sushi, but it needs to be really fresh, and the only time I've had it really fresh was when I was in Japan. So that's my favourite takeaway is pizza. Next question, Lucas Foyle. He says, if your house was burning down and you could only say one of your systems and 3 games, what would you choose? Pretty obviously I'd pick the N64, but the 3 games that I would choose would be the Ocarina of Time, F-Zero X, and I'd also surprisingly probably pick Snowboard Kids as well, because I just really enjoy that game and it just makes me smile whenever I play it. The next question is Mr. Vengeance 83. He wants to know, what was your favourite issue of N64 magazine? What N64 games do you think have held up the best today? And what are your favourite hidden gems on the N64? So my favourite issue of N64 magazine, it was probably the one with Goemon on the cover. I think it's going to be about issue number 8. I think it was the first issue that I actually bought myself. But also there's lots and lots of really great games in there as well, and that's probably the one that I read the most because there was a bit of a gap between getting that one and the next one. So that's my favourite cover. Which games I think have held up the best today? I'd probably say it's any of the games made by Nintendo and Rare. They were the best makers of games for the N64, and I think their games, they're still being played today and they're still very playable today, whereas games from some of the other manufacturers are maybe, a little bit showing their age now. What are my favourite hidden gems on the N64? I think I've probably talked about this before, but I'd say if there's one game that I'd say to people to go check out that you probably haven't played, it would be Mischief Makers. Again, I've plugged it all the time. It's a really great game. It's got awesome boss battles, some of the best probably on the N64. It's a 2D game and there wasn't many 2D games on the N64, so that would be my pick as a hidden gem on the console. Retro Liberty, 2 of my favourite YouTubers. They want to know, well, Ricky wants to know, who would you rather be stuck on a desert island with, Peach or Daisy? I'd probably say Peach. Daisy's not really, someone that is seen in too many games. So yeah, let's go with Peach. And Aaron wants to know, who would you rather be stuck on a desert island with, Aaron or Ricky? To be honest, if I was going to be stuck on a desert island with one of you 2 guys, I'd probably be killed by sharks trying to swim off that island. But joking aside, both of you guys are awesome, so it's too hard for me to pick. I love your show, and hopefully my subscribers are also subscribers of yours because I really love your videos, and you've got a really cool game room that's nearly complete as well. Darrow85, he wants to know, let's have a look. What's your favourite track from Mystical Ninja starring Goemon? My favourite song from Mystical Ninja starring Goemon is the Impact song. If you haven't already seen this, just search N64 Goemon Impact song into the search engine on YouTube and just watch it. It's a really wacky, crazy Japanese song. Goemon pulls out the conch, summons Impact, he comes out and just, it's this really weird Japanese sort of, K-pop, J-pop style song. That's pretty cool, so that's the song that always sticks into my head, and if you listen to it, it will be sticking in your head for quite a while as well. The next question comes from the 16-Bit Brothers. All four of these guys have asked questions, so that's far away. Great channel as well, by the way. I've taken part in the 500 subscriber special, so go check that out if you haven't done that already. Roger wants to know, let's start off with Danny. So Danny wants to know, if you could have one arcade cabinet in your games room, what would it be? If you're really, really old school on my channel, you'll know that I did have an arcade cabinet that I built myself, and it used to be directly behind me. So if you want to go see that, go way back early in my channel, you'll be able to see that. I built a custom main cabinet. It was really, really nice, but unfortunately I had to sell it because it was taking up a lot of room, and to be honest I hardly managed to get much time to play it because I was a lot busier doing university and a full-time job at the time. But it had about 10,000 games on it, so I had all the arcade ones you can remember. But if you're going to nail me down and make me pick just one arcade machine that I could have, it would be one which is hardly known, but it's a bloody good game, and it's called Pro Gear. It's on the CPS2 arcade machine, and it is absolutely awesome. If you like bullet hell shooters, then you're going to love this game. It's really cool, sort of steampunk style to it. Really cool game, so check that one out. Roger wants to know, what is your favourite 80s cartoon? My favourite 80s cartoon is the Mysterious Cities of Gold. I know straight away in your head you're hearing the intro song for it right there, so yeah, that's my favourite one. Really great story, loved all the little history lessons at the end of it. I love South America, so all my South American viewers, thank you, I love your countries. But yeah, a really cool cartoon. They've actually done a the next series of it, which is just in French. We're still waiting for an English dub of that, so I'm really looking forward to checking that out. The next question from the 16-Bit Brothers comes from AD, who says, when you're not working, making YouTube videos, playing computer games, or on the sunbed, what else do you like to do? A few things I like to do. I like to spend time with my dog, and I also like to spend time with my girlfriend as well. So I don't have a whole lot of free time, so I like to spend time with my girlfriend like most people would do. And also with my dog as well. So I've not introduced my dog on my channel before, but I'll probably save that for another video. The next question comes from the Retroholic. He says, what's your favourite generation of gaming? I would actually say the 16-bit I think was the best generation of gaming. It's just my favourite games are from the 64-bit, and I've got the best memories of the 64-bit. His next question was, are you an all-gen gamer, retro gamer, or modern gamer? I'd say all-gen. I like a lot of retro stuff, but also I do play, like Wii U. I've got a PS3, and then I've had an Xbox, and pretty much every console you can imagine. So I do play bits on all different consoles. I just happen to have a really strong preference for the N64. And his final question is, what music are you into? I really like 80s music. I guess it's the decade I was born up in. But modern stuff, not really a whole lot, to be honest. So if you can name pretty much most 80s stuff, then I will like it. The real one wants to know, congratulations on 500 subs. What was the first video game you played? First video game I played was Sonic 1, and it was on the Sega Mega Drive. And I actually remember getting it as well because my dad, if you remember, well, if you're here in the UK, you'll remember a newspaper called The Loot, which is a classifieds newspaper. He actually went and bought it. It was really close after the console came out, and we got that and Altered Beast as the two games, and me and my brother just played, Sonic 1 and Altered Beast like crazy. But Sonic 1 was the first video game I actually remember playing, and my friend had an NES as well, so we used to play NES quite a bit also. The next question is from Everything Smash, another great YouTuber. What modern day systems do you have, if any? Currently I've got a PS3, a Wii U. They're the only modern consoles I've got, but I buy every console when it comes out. But as soon as I get bored with them, I generally, move them on, sell them. He also wants to know, what's your favourite Smash Brothers character? I would say it would be Link. If I had to say between the young Link and the adult Link, I'd probably say the adult Link. And that's it from him. The next question is from TNT737373. Try saying that when you're on the Guinness. Now, he's got a really interesting question. What he wants to know is, many retro gaming channels tend to focus primarily on the NES and SNES. However, skip the love for the N64. Many bash assists and unfortunately praise towards this era of 3D gaming is largely dominated by the PS1 and the Dreamcast. Nobody on YouTube has a steady channel to talk about the N64. Do you want to be the next retro gen Nintendo representative? because the passion and creativity is all there for you to become the spokesperson for the N64 fans everywhere. Love the show. Now that's a really interesting question. One of the things that I get asked, in private sometimes with people is what inspired me to start doing N64 videos. And people always think it was, generally my idea, but the thing that really got to me was there's actually a YouTuber who's got an absolutely awesome N64 channel, but because he doesn't, get involved in the community as much in terms of YouTube anyway, he does upload a lot of videos, but he doesn't engage, he doesn't converse, all that much, which is, he's got a lot of subscribers. It's a guy called Finn Gamer. If you haven't checked out his channel, check it out. He makes my N64, well, everybody's N64 type, everybody's N64 game collection just look insane and pathetic, because he's got every single N64 game. That includes all of the Japanese exclusives, North American exclusives. He lives in Finland, hence the name Finn Gamer. But he's got a really cool, sort of accent and voice. So if you haven't checked out his channel, please do go check it out. In terms of being the representative for the N64, it's not really something I thought about. It's one of those things, I enjoy, making videos and, talking about what I love. And if people happen to think that, I'm, the channel to go to for N64, then I appreciate it. There are some really great, channels out there that do cover the N64 as well. But yeah, I agree with you. There's not much love for the N64. And I think it's one of those things you have to be a really specific age, around my age actually, to really appreciate the console, because generally you've got memories like I do, like playing GoldenEye and things like that with your friends and with your brother. And you'd probably be of the age when you're, sort of around 15, 16, when you had lots of time to play games, and so everything was new and changing in your life, and that's kind of why I like the N64. But yeah, really great question. Thanks for that one. Kid Show Ryukin. He says, what are your favourite Nintendo, Capcom and Konami series? So my favourite Nintendo series is anything from Zelda. My favourite Capcom series is Street Fighter. Again, I love Street Fighter. And my favourite Konami series is Mystical Ninja, but they've kind of been a bit shy on making games for that. They really should do a new game for it, in my opinion, but it seems to have fallen off their radar, which is a shame because they're really great games. 64-bit Matthew, who I talked about at the start of the video, he says he's got two questions. So his first question is, if you're stranded on an island with only one system and one game and it couldn't be the N64, what would you choose? To be honest, I really wouldn't be able to answer that question. I'd probably say I'd go for the NES. In fact, no, I'd say NES or SNES. In terms of the game, I'd probably say Donkey Kong Country 2 if it was the SNES. And if it was the NES, I would probably say Mario Brothers 3. But that's a really tough question. And his second question is pretty cool as well. And he says, if your channel couldn't be video game related, what do you think your channel would be about? To be honest, I gave this a little bit of thought. I think it would probably be a professional wrestling channel. If you know me, or if you've seen some of my previous videos, you'll know that I'm a huge wrestling fan. Really love professional wrestling. I've also got a documentary about Preston City Wrestling, which is a local promotion to me. That's probably, well, in fact, I think it is the most viewed video on my channel, which is kind of ironic considering my channel is video game related. But that's a nice 20-minute documentary that we made for them. And also, I've interviewed Chris Jericho on my channel, so if you're a wrestling fan, you'll know who Chris Jericho is. So there's an interview on my channel, from a year or two ago. So I'd say it'd be professional wrestling related. Kev the Retro Game Crusader, he wants to know, he says he's got a few dumb questions for me. So, what's my favourite UK band and then international band? So my favourite UK band would probably be The Police. Really, really like The Police, they're a cool band. And if it was international, then I'd probably say The Cars. I really like The Cars, they're a really cool band. There's so many other bands that I like, from the 80s, but they'd probably be, the bands I would pick for my favourite UK and international band. What's my favourite game-based movie? That one's really easy, that would be GoldenEye on the N64. The remakes that they've made I don't think are all that good. And the third question is, how many Stone Cold Stunners have you attempted in real life? Absolutely thousands. Me and my brother, same as everybody else, we'd either do it on my mum and dad's bed, or we'd take all the cushions off the sofa, put it on the floor, we'd give each other stunners, rock bottoms, everything. So I don't know the exact figure for how many Stone Cold Stunners I've tried to give in my life, but it's a lot. And let's have a look. John Grogan from the 16-Bit Brothers, he wants to know, how many times a month do you go to the tanning salon? And the Retro Liberty have laughed at that. I'd probably say about twice a month. I used to go on a lot more, hence me probably looking a lot older than I actually am. But yeah, probably about, you know, every other week, you know, sometimes once a week at the most. But, you know, how do I keep this nice all year round tan? There's your answer. And finally, Sir Stat Crooked wants to know, can he ask multiple questions? Yes, you can. But he's only asked one question, which is, what's your favourite N64 game? And congrats and good luck in the future. And finishing that one off, my favourite game on the N64 is The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. So hopefully that answers, well, it does answer all the questions that everybody asked, but if you do still have any other questions that you want me to answer, just leave a comment below asking your question and I'll leave you a typed response as soon as possible. Now before you go, one other thing that I decided to do for my 500 subscriber special is every single day now for the next 2 weeks I'm going to be uploading a brand new video. So there's going to be 14 days ahead. The next 14 days there's going to be a video every single day, so please come back. You know, support my channel if you can, because I'm going to put a lot of work into it, continue to hopefully grow my channel. And it's been a lull for the past 2 months whilst I've been, you know, really busy with work. But I do want to get back to the position where I am making lots of videos again. So I want to say thank you for everybody who has liked my videos, everyone who's added it as their favourites, everyone who subscribes, everyone who I discuss and converse with on Facebook. There's a link in the description below to my page if you want to come and join us on Facebook for discussions. And again, hopefully I will do some more specials as I get more and more subscribers. But everybody watching, I really appreciate you watching, and hopefully we'll continue to grow and I get to know more about all of you. So thanks for watching and I'll see you soon.